Good afternoon. It's Thursday, 18th of February. I'm back in the reading nook, and the weather is fine. It's a bit chilly, but it's bright, and it's occasionally rainy. But I've got a cup of tea, and I've got parcels to unbox. So here we go. Let's go with the first one. So this is quite slim. Probably going to be a fanzine of some kind. It's from within the UK, I know that. And yes, there's drilling. Can't escape it at the moment. I just have to put up with it whilst I take advantage of the weather. So what we've got in here, just pulling this out, is okay. This is Merry Outlaws, a role-playing game of folk, ballads, and justice by Scott Malthouse, whose name you may Malthouse, sorry, you may recognise from Romance of the Perilous Kingdom, which is published by Osprey Games. So here we go. Merry Outlaws. Okay, and here let's just all art by public domain. It's from Trollish Delver Games, and Merry Outlaws. Robin of Locksley is dead. Corruption is the worm writhing at the heart of the 13th century England. 5 years ago, the man they call the Hood passed to the heavens. His closest friend, Little John, went into exile under the guise of Old Hatch. Friar Tuck was burned for heresy by the church, and Marion wanders the land as a sword for hire, grieving for her lost love. King Henry of Winchester, son of the tyrant King John, has succeeded the throne of his malignant father. Forged in war, Henry is hungry for blood. Despite his charitable dealings, the king is a shrewd man when it comes to politics. His is a more personal rule than his father's. His appointments to the royal council were nepotistic and self-serving, but he cares little for what the baronies do, leaving them to their own devices, unchecked and often out of control. So, great way. Essentially, you've got a nice setup, gorgeous piece of art, public domain artwork there, and it continues like that. I really like the layout's really clean and simple, and mechanically it looks to be simple too. To play a game of Merry Outlaws, you need a few things: two six-sided dice per player, space to play and roll dice, some paper, 2 coins each, the older the better, and a character sheet. You have this is a guide to the game, and just 4 paragraphs. Explains what the referee does, who the outlaws are, ballads, which is basically a recording of what happens on their adventure. Every time you complete an adventure, you write a stanza of the ballad. After 10 adventures, you have 10 stanzas, and there you have your ballad, which will be memorised down the ages. And then you've basically got some notes on sort of like the role playing there. Okay, so basically cover the rules here, nice and simple. You only roll 1d6. I've got a simple table there, botched 1, then various degrees of success going down. Fighting's a little bit more structured. You can see, again, great choice of artwork. Really, you would think a fanzine, a lot of people do themselves, they do their own art, they get their friends to do their own art. It's not always the best. And don't think I'm criticising them because of that. That's what they are. That's part of their charm. But again, with all this public domain art available, Scott Malthouse has basically, really made the book stand out. I mean, it's only just a few pages, but you look at that and that's quite nice. It's a well-judged choices throughout, as is that classic scene from Robin Hood. Notably, I recently reviewed basically Sherwood from Battlefield Press International, which is basically it's available in Savage Worlds and Pathfinder and D&D 5th edition, and essentially you can have adventures like Robin Hood. Basically, it's talking about essentially in that 13th century espionage more than anything, and a guide to the outlaws, including an outlaw code, starting gear, outlaw abilities, so archer or orator, brawler, and so on. Basically, an outlaw name, basically outlaw band name or band of outlaws. Okay, the name for the band of outlaws, not your band name as the Outlaws. That will be an entirely different game. Scott Malthouse, could you please make a role-playing game about a rock band in 13th century England who are also outlaws? He can have that one for free, if he's watching. And of course, why not? They're balladeers. Finally, advancement, so on, and the charters basically list sort of like opponents and so on that they might encounter. And lastly, we have, and then we have a note on the clan, I think. I'm not quite sure, but essentially there's a note about history and basically the fact that this is a sort of like semi-historical game. So yeah, in just a few pages, you have a complete role-playing game. You know, something you would pick up and play a few times, probably. You know, get through a complete ballad. You know, so that's 10 adventures. You might do another one once or twice more, but again, it's of a limited scope. It doesn't mean you're not going to have fun. It just means it's not I would suggest it's not a long-term game, and that's fine. So yeah, Merry Outlaws, a role-playing game of folk ballads and justice by Scott Malthouse. If you liked Romance of the Perilous Kingdoms, his take upon 12th and 13th century England and its myths and legends, then this is an alternative for you to look at, especially if you're interested in sort of like the Robin Hood legend and doing similar adventures in that milieu. Right, okay, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed it, please click the like button. If you've got feedback or comments, then please take the time. I do read and respond as I can. And if you want to see more of these, of me sat out here in the garden unboxing stuff, then please do subscribe. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.